Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Leslie. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today I am doing a cut file backing with one of the Paige Evans cut files. They are for free. And I'm also using her Whimsical collection. So I have been wanting to back a cut file for weeks now. I've been itching to do it. And I've backed a lot of cut files before, but I don't know, I just really wanted to do something with florals. So you're going to see me here pulling out some of my 6x6 papers and backing this cut file of hers with the 6x6 papers. And yeah, this, I have to say this layout is not my favorite layout of all time. But it does look pretty, and I'm sure you'll like it in the end as well. But yeah, so there is my cut file. And I've also done some fussy cutting, and you see I've shown you the paper there that I fussy cut some of those flowers out. Now, I am not going to be scrapping a photo for this layout. I am going to be scrapping a little letter that my daughter wrote me. It just says, "I love you, Mom," from Emma. And she drew some flowers on the cardboard. So I'm going to be scrapping that and then putting the date on that. And that's just one of the things you can do if you've got something special memorabilia. You don't always have to scrap a photo. So I am trying to make, I wanted the whole idea of a bouquet on this layout. So I'm trying to make sort of the paper or the cellophane or the... You know what I mean. You can see what I mean. I'm trying to make that. So it does, take a while for me to get to get it to where I like it. I'm not going to use that paper, that diagonal striped paper. Looking at it now, it looks really nice. I think it looks really cool, but I'm going to be switching it out for that yellow. I thought the yellow made the other colors pop a bit more. And I'm going to be changing the direction of the layout as well. And you'll see that. And I am going to be backing everything up on foam squares. Or my foam, my craft foam. So I'm just sticking some craft foam inside there, inside the little holder, the cone, so that it doesn't fall flat, and putting my ATG on there just so that there's something to keep it flat and so on. And you can see I've got some tissue paper to the right hand side of the screen, and I tried to make the cone with tissue paper, but that was a disaster, so I reverted back to paper, and that worked a lot better in the end. So I wanted to add some of those beautiful die-cut flowers behind the cut file, and tuck them in sort of loosely, just to thicken up the bushy look of the busyness of the cut file. And I really love the effect that gave. And I also used some of those fussy cut flowers that I cut from that blue paper on the left hand side of the screen. And so this is the little card that Emma wrote me, and I am going to cut it up. I just wanted the "I love you, Mommy" bit, and I'm going to be sticking the rest of the bit that I cut off to the back of the card. And you know what, it's only me that's gonna know that the rest is there, because I glue the back down to a piece of fun foam in any case, and it's only me that's gonna know it's there. And I think it's because I didn't want to waste the card, or didn't want to cut too much of the card away, or so and it's all just in the head and the mind. So I turn the whole configuration around so that it's sort of angled towards the left. And I do stick it down, but I stick it down in the wrong spot. So I go in later and I pull it up and I stick it down a bit more to the left. And I do fuss around with this a little bit. It was difficult for me. The shape of the card is difficult. The fact that it is so big. The fact that it's it's, I can't tuck it in behind any of the flowers, otherwise you won't be able to see the I love you, mommy. So it is a difficult shape to scrap, especially with what I was doing here with the flowers and the cone and all of that. I think if it was a linear layout or something with a grid or, something diagonal, it would have maybe worked a bit better. I wanted the effect of something holding the cone together. So I've got some green and white twine, and I'm just bunching it around the cone. And in the end, you really don't actually see that because I stick the little card that Emma wrote me over that in any case. So I really like the way this is looking. I must admit, while I was making it, I didn't like it. I felt that the card was a little bit too pink. It was I chose the wrong colors to go with the card. I shouldn't have chosen the yellow background. I felt that it was just too busy. I should have done something different. But then in the end, I realized that, you know what, this is a card my fun, loving, sparkle, always happy child made me, and I wanted it on a layout that reflected that. And when I look at those flowers, I feel happy, and when I look at the yellow background, it makes me happy, and when I look at the cone and the colors on the dark background, it makes me happy. So it's all about how you feel, how something makes you feel. So this is where I rip up the cone, and obviously I left it too long and it had dried by that time, and you don't see the rips in the end, you don't see any of it in the end. I do try different angles at this stage. I should have done this before I stuck everything down, so you don't see any of the rips. I just stick it down probably not even a centimeter off to the left. So so I don't even know if it made that much of a difference. I think the card just didn't run off the page by a couple of millimeters. So that's basically that. And I'm going to be sticking down that cut file all backed with lovely fun foam in all its gloriousness. So I woke up with a bit of a frog this morning in my throat. So, and see there, I stick the card down, and I thought I'd leave it to flap so that you can flap up and see the back, but no, I stick it down. So it's really only just me that's going to know that the card has something on the back, but it's got the I love you, mommy on it. And I don't know if your 7-year-old, if you have a 7-year-old, if the attitude has found them yet. The attitude has found mine. So it's really lovely when she does say I love you, because the attitude sort of prevents her from doing nice things for me lately and listening. And I just wish that attitude would leave and, leave us alone. But the attitude, has come. So it is, I know all my boys also at 7, they had attitudes. I think it's that whole testing the waters and testing where they can push you and so on. That but the attitude goes at a stage, and then a new attitude begins. Hey, when they get a little older. So yes, the sigh of motherhood. But hey, I love being a mother. I love having these little things. I love having them. So these are those enamel shapes, and I do take them off. They are just too shiny, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the effect that those enamel shapes gave. So I wanted to use to put a big title at the bottom, and those little letter thickers, those tiny little ones, just didn't do it for me. And I'm going to be using some Pink Fresh Studio sort of chipboard thickers. They're not thickers, but they're chipboard letters. And they also that really dark, dark blue. But I really wanted to use that little blue butterfly, and I do pull up some of that little leaves that I stuck down there and tuck them in at another place, and that little butterfly makes a spot, gets its spot on the purple flower. So see, I really try to make the thickers work, and I love those little clips with the tassels. You'll see that I've used one of them already, and I thought of putting the green one in where the bow is, that's wrapped around the cone. And these are the Pink Fresh Studio chipboard letters that I'm going to be using. They annoyed me, and they are really lovely. I love the colors. But as I peeled them off or took them out of their little packaging slots, half of the chipboard letter stayed behind, and then so some of them are fatter than others, some of them are thicker than others, and that annoys me. So this is something I did, and I shouldn't have done it. It made me think the whole night about it, and I left the layout after doing the squiggly lines. And I thought the whole evening it was bothering me the whole night. And then the next day, it was still lying on my desk. And then I had a brainwave. And you'll see what I did next. The next day, the coloring's going to be a bit different because that was in the morning. So here I come back the next day, and I rip off all of those lines that I drew. And I really like the effect that it gave. Just those little rips on the sides, and it was quite tedious to get off because they are thin strips that I ripped off. But I don't know why. Sometimes a layout is a hit and a miss. I think I've got a love-hate for this layout. I've been, like I said at the beginning, I've been wanting to back a cut file for weeks and weeks now, and then I think I'm so excited about doing something, I overdo it, and then it doesn't really work, and it doesn't work with my style. And then I feel uncomfortable with it because I can see that I'm out of my comfort zone. And then I try to make it work, and then as much as I'm trying to make it work, I make it worse. Get what I'm saying? It's like you're trying too hard. And I think with this layout, I was just trying too hard. And it was a good thing for me to leave it and then come back the next day and to see what wasn't working for me. So obviously, I don't think I should have used the blue letters. I think I should have probably used the little thickers, those little tiny little multicolored thickers that came with the collection. Or another alpha. I don't think I should have used the blue letters. And I also don't think I should have used the yellow background. I should have used something lighter. But it's there now, and it's bright, and it's happy, and I like what I do next. I think that worked pretty nicely. I think I nailed it with what I do next. You'll see that I put like another paper behind it to make a little border, and I really prefer that. So sometimes, I think it's important to know that not every one of your layouts is going to be a showstopper, and that's my problem. I want every single one of my layouts to be phenomenal, and they can't all be phenomenal. I just have to accept it, and it comes deep-seated issues. You see, deep-seated problems. We all have our issues, hey. I always want to have this amazing layout to show you guys, and then when I don't, I feel a bit disappointed in myself. But I think in the end, this does come together, and I love the fact that I used that purple ledger paper to fix it. So it's okay to not be perfect all the time. It's okay to stuff up sometimes, and it's okay to leave something the way it is, to do it, to leave it, and go on. And a while back, I was in this mission of teaching myself that it's okay to put down an embellishment and leave it, and stick it down and leave it, and not faff over it for days and days, and not trying to get it absolutely perfect. And I think, you know, I got pretty good at it, but then with this layout, I think it caught up with me a little bit. But that is it for this layout. Please leave a comment if you like, or if you have anything to say. I do really love reading your comments, even if they're negative. I don't really mind. I don't think I've ever had a negative comment, to be honest, which is really, really nice of you guys. And I love it that you all like my videos, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.